Good afternoon. My name is Bob Purdon, and I'm a sales trainer, management consultant, if you will, that has been in the business for retail, the whole retail, from salesman manager all the way, for up to 50 years. And during that time, I've had a chance to observe hundreds of showrooms where I spent a week at a time at these dealerships all over the North American continent, South America, Hawaii, which was fun, but I'm not trying to use those terms and distances to impress anybody. I'm just trying to show you that I have been to a lot of different environments, many different products, interviewed all kinds of people who've been into dealerships, shoppers, if you will, and you draw some conclusions, obviously, after doing all that. And the most exciting part about that journey to me is that it is ridiculously simple to take advantage of the marketplace, because the marketplace is so unstructured. And when I say that, what I mean is that the successful companies and people are the ones that have a different, and not different, but specific objective. If we were in the automobile business, which I was, and we were going to focus on what is the most important factor, in my opinion, after all these years, it would be the selection of a vehicle would be number one. Because without a selection, nothing else counts or will work. So it is easy to, after all these years, to identify within myself exactly why I'm meeting a customer. The only qualification I'm going to have at the end of the interview is which one. And all the other pieces will be there or not. But the selection has to be first. Disney has a specific goal, and that is called happiness. I've been to their classes. And everything that Disney does is geared to making the customer happy. I don't see construction equipment during my time visiting the organization. So they really set the stage, but they have a reason for doing everything to make the customer happy and happier. Now, without a specific goal coming from management down, it has to come from management down, in my opinion. It has to be a company theme. Selling as a goal is very difficult to have a goal with the term sales. Why? Dictionary. Salesman, one whose occupation is to sell goods or merchandise. How many roads do I have to take to accomplish that with the different customers? If I said selection of the product that we are delivering is the key, is that a little easier than to say selling something? And the problem I have with the word sales and the concept of sales is it's very, very intangible. People have told me, oh, the right person, the right attitudes, and all these good things. And okay, they're all a factor. I agree. Money's the most important thing. I hear that often. But the person who's going to meet the next customer who says, my focus is to help this customer select a item, whether it be automobile, jewelry, whatever it is, and everything I'm going to do is geared towards that, has a chance to be very successful. Versus one who says, boy, I hope this next customer is a buyer. They have a real issue to deal with, or a series of issues. So my reason for being on this channel over the next weeks, if you will, is to share with you my concept of the tangible aspect of, quote, sales. So I would not term a salesperson as a salesperson. For clarification, I would call them a selection specialist, because that's exactly what counts. If a customer selects an item, they all have a chance to discuss all the factors, including the money. But if they talk money and all the other factors and don't have a selection, nothing's going to happen. So selection to me is number one, and that's why we are selection specialists if we're going to maintain a strong focus, and that should come from top management. Now, many dealerships, many businesses have a process, if you will. The rules, regulations, what we have to do, what we shouldn't do. So in the retail, quote, world of sales, greeting, presentation, demonstration, pricing, negotiations, these are all broad and general, well-known terms. But the question I have is, how is it done? What is the process for a greeting? That's what I want to know. I know what a greeting means, but what is the process of a greeting and why? Give you an example. The first and most important possession of a customer, I believe, is their name. So I believe that when we meet a customer, after introducing ourselves and handing them our business card at the door, I believe that we should be identifying what their name is, asking them your name, names, and writing it so we pronounce it and spell it at the greeting, not later, at the greeting, to set the tone of I care. You're important to me. But I believe what's not taught are the challenges of a greeting. So let's assume that we have just been through a process training, the greeting, the presentation, how to do all of these things, which is very important. And then we're going to meet the next customer. I've just come out of it. I'm going to be on the floor. I'm next up. And this customer walks in and says, I'm just looking. Next customer, I'm on my lunch hour. Next customer, just shopping. Next customer, I just want a brochure. Next customer, I'm not ready to buy yet. Next customer, I'm looking for my son or daughter. When will the new ones be out? Next customer, I need my spouse. I really don't have a lot of time. I'm going to wait until. I just want a price. I stopped by, I was over at the mall. I'm going to sell my car before I do anything. I've been on the internet, I know all about them. Now what, after the first week, do I think about the process? Where was that spelled out in my training? The fact that this is what the customer not maybe will say, they will say. This is the dialogue of a retail customer entering a new location. Why? Because they want to protect themselves. They're not sure. They want to keep a little bit of a distance from whoever they're going to meet. So although I was made aware of the process per se, they never told me about the challenges to the process, which can affect my integrity for the process, weaken my resolve, and I can really start to lose confidence. And eventually, I'll see you later. So my aspect of training is to cover the process, which the example of the greeting I just shared with you is what I would do. But I want to make sure that they understand that this is what the customer is going to say. These are all the same terms they've used for years. They never have changed. So I'm preparing for the variables. And that's what I am really concerned about, is the salesperson understanding the variables of the process. So what we're going to be doing over the next series of presentations, probably a couple every week, is we're going to be talking about what happens when it goes to the right. The interview could go to the left. The interview may stop. What do I do? What do I say? Now, give an example of reacting properly. These statements that I just reviewed with us, you'll hear them tomorrow if you're in retail, or later today. The approach is this: I understand. That's how I respond to the customer. And I'd probably say it all begins somewhere, doesn't it? Because I want them to displace that excuse so that we can get back to what they really came in for, to see what we have. So once I displace by saying, I understand, I don't challenge them, I don't say why, I just put it to the side and get back to what? My selection. So as soon as I say to them, I understand, what type of, quote, product are you looking for? What features do you want? So that's what I'm going to do as soon as I displace. I have forgotten what they said here, but I am very concerned about the type of product they want and what they want out of it. I begin on the selection road. So that's the difference in starting the interview properly. Now, why am I doing that? Because the trainer told me about the positive greeting, but the trainer also showed me what happens during that training, during that greeting, and how I can keep everything going the right direction and still win. Because I'm not challenging, I'm having fun when I say I understand. Because I know what I'm going to do next. So everything has a step. The greeting leads to a presentation. The presentation leads to a demo. It all is a stepping stone. So if I have that in my head that I want to do that and carry the customer as much as I can, then I'm going to be a very strong producer for myself and the company. So this is what my training is about. And that's why it's all important, but really being prepared to handle the variables is a big deal. Very big deal. If I walked in and I said, as another example, I really don't know what I'm looking for. I'm not sure. Are they presenting an objection or an issue? So what should I do? Walk around the store and take a Disneyland tour? We don't think so. I should say, follow me. Bring them over, sit them down. Would you like some water, refreshments? Okay, great. Now let's talk about what you're looking for, your wants and needs, and let's go in the right direction. So I counsel with the customer who doesn't know what they're looking for before we get up and move to a given direction. By doing that, they should know that I'm really concerned. I'm going to be more efficient and more effective because I know where we're trying to go. So when they're not sure what they want to do, the key is to sit them down and relax. And let's visit and talk about it. The doctor, when you say I don't feel good, doesn't start cutting. Obviously, he sits down and counsels. So that's another variable. That's another way to go with that customer. So how many of these variables are we going to handle as we keep the customer and by leading the customer in the right direction? Not pushing them, not forcing them, but leading them in the right direction. We're making a strong move for ourselves. So that's why I want to have the opportunity to chat with you. There's the opportunity to it's on YouTube, obviously, so the opportunity is there to respond to what I'm saying, challenge what I'm saying. Have any questions, be happy to deal with that. But I want you to know that I have a ton of Twitters out there who have all of these factors incorporated in them. So you're welcome to look at the Twitters at any time. In the next presentation I'll be making, they'll be coming up, and I will respond to those. So my intent is to have you feel, not that you were hyped in that sense, but you were taught. You really heard some strong ways of handling the customer in a positive way, because they're a client. I'm supposed to know how to handle the client under these variable conditions. And that's what it really is all about. So I want to thank you for taking the time today. We'll be here. We're going to be on YouTube. Any questions you have, my number is 954-600-0413. Again, 954-600-0413. I'm in Stuart, Florida. Give me a call. Anything I can do to help you, be happy to. Thanks again.